One of the biggest problems for working professionals who are trying to monetize their skill set is trying to figure out the perfect skill to monetize. They go on this endless search, searching through the north, the west, the east, and the south, all to no avail. And this is because the skill set that you need to monetize is the skill set that is within you. Now, you do not realize this, and that's because you are not aware that the people that you are most qualified to help and to serve are the people who have similar goals, similar aspirations. They have the same pain points that you have. Now, the only difference is that they are a few steps behind and you are a few steps ahead. In other words, your previous self is the perfect niche. Now, let's think about this for a second. I'm very sure that a few years ago, you were going through one thing or the other, whether it's the fact that you are looking for another job, or you were trying to start a business, or let's say you were going through one kind of situation, but in some way, you were able to figure things out, right? Now, the fact that you're able to figure things out means that you've been able to overcome a certain situation. Now, there are people who are still like you. There are people who are trying to figure things out. There are people who maybe they're also trying to get a job. They're trying to start a business. They're trying to overcome the exact same thing that you overcame a few years ago. Now, in that space lies a skill set that you should be monetizing. And that's why I said that the perfect skill set for you to monetize is within you. It's a life that you have lived before. Now, I'll give you an example. I've been an agile coach for over 10 years, right? Now, when I thought about monetizing a skill set, one of the skill set that I picked was my agile knowledge. And that's because that's a skill that I've lived through and I'm currently living. Now, it was easy because all I had to do was think about myself a few years ago when I was trying to get into the industry, when I was trying to learn all things agile. I knew that there were people at that starting point, people who didn't understand what was required to get themselves a job, people who did not even know how to excel on that job. And all I had to do was think about myself a few years ago and create an offer to help those people. So your skill set lies in who you were a few years ago. And that's why I say that the previous you is your perfect niche. That is your target audience. Those are the people that you are most qualified to help. Because all you have to think about is the struggles that you went through. What were the pain? What were the things you had to overcome? Guess what? That would be some of the similar things that these people would also need to overcome. And it becomes super easy for you to start creating content around these things because then you are super specific. You are focused on solving their need. And that's why you can then create an offer that appeals to them. And without you doing much selling, you are able to find the right client for your product. You see where I'm going? So don't go on this endless searching through the internet, looking at other people and what other people are making money from. Yes, they could be making money from those things, but you may not be able to make money from it because that thing might not be best suited for you. And that's why it's important that you take your life and take a thorough audit of your life to be able to realize, what have I been through? What have I overcome? What are my experiences? What skills did I learn along the way? What am I extremely good at? What can I help other people to be extremely good at? Those are the things that you need to focus on because that is where your skill set lies. Okay? Now, another thing I want you to do is this. Ask yourself a few questions. For example, what were some of the major struggles that you went through a few years ago? What did you do to overcome those struggles? And how are you able to get to where you are right now? In you answering these questions, they will lead you to pointers in terms of like, okay, this is how I can transform someone else's life. Let me give you another example. My offer when I was selling my agile knowledge was helping aspiring and new Scrum Masters become exceptional in their place of work, right? In their workplace. And that was because I knew what it was to become exceptional. I'd become an exceptional agile coach, an exceptional scrum master. I understood the struggles that I faced, understanding, the scope, understanding how to relate with team members across the globe, understanding how to manage a project. And I was able to help those who didn't have any clue get to my level of understanding. And it was super easy to be able to solve that solution to those people. And that became my offer. My offer was in my transformation. So the same thing applies to you. As you go about thinking of what you can monetize, I want you to think about yourself just a few years ago, right? What were certain things that you were able to accomplish? How did you accomplish those? What were the problems that you faced? What did you do when you faced those problems? Because all of that story becomes the roadmap for the next person to be able to achieve your goal much faster. Now, let me give you another example. Today's topic is helping you figure out the best way to pick a skill and monetize that skill. Now, before I got to this point, it took me a while. I actually went through, I went through the ropes, right? I went to the north, east, south, and west, trying to figure out like what skill can I monetize. And I made a lot of mistakes along the way. I wasted a lot of time. Now, if I had someone record this kind of video many years ago when I was trying to monetize a skill, life would have been a whole lot easier for me because I would know the perfect thing to do. But I had to do a lot of trials, a lot of errors before ultimately I figured out that, okay, I probably should start from here. And it was a huge success when I compared to some of the other skills that I was looking at. And that was because I was best qualified to help other people who wanted to become Scrum Masters. And that's because I have lived that life. I've gone through their pains, I've gone through their struggles, I've been overwhelmed at one time. I've doubted myself so many times, and I know what it is to be in that level. And I know that that too will pass. And so I'm able to come and help you through that process because I know this is what you're going to face. This is what you're going to do to overcome it when you face it. This is the next thing that you're most likely to face. This is how you're going to overcome it. And I became like an angel to many of my students. And that was just because I have lived through the life that they are about to live. And it became second nature to me. Even creating content became second nature because I could put myself in their shoes. I could wear their pain. I could see their struggles because I felt those struggles before. And it was easy for me to be able to offer solutions. And that's the same way I want you to think, right? Those skill set that you need to be monetizing right now are not far off. They're right there with you. But most times we overlook those skill set because we don't even think they're valuable. We feel like that's what we're doing every day to day. What value can you bring? You will be shocked that thousands of people out there are looking for that exact solution. They're looking for that individual who can show them the ropes, that individual that can tell them exactly what to do. And one thing I've come to realize is when you were thinking of kicking off an online business and monetizing your skill, people don't care about, the skill in itself. People care about the results that you're going to get. So once you're able to achieve that result, that's what they're looking for. This is what I did. I did XYZ. If you do XYZ, you are going to get a similar result. And that's what people pay for. So stop the endless searching, stop looking at your neighbors, stop looking at the next best thing online, because that skill that you need to kick up today is right there with you. And it just needs for you to be able to reflect and look back on your life just a few years ago. What is that skill? What is that thing? What is that experience? What is that knowledge that I've acquired over the years that has been a blessing to me, that has helped me to achieve this? Who are the people that are looking to experience this same thing? People that were like me a few years ago. What did I do differently? What did I have to do to get to this new level that I am at right now? That's what you need. And that's what people are looking for. So it's much easier than we think. So I hope that after today's video, you don't have to go on those endless journey anymore because now you know exactly where you need to look. You need to look at your previous life just a few years ago. Where were you and where are you right now? And help the person who is still there find their way to get to where you are right now. You are your niche. So stop looking all over the place because you have found the perfect skill set that you should be monetizing today. And I hope that today's video has become an eye-opener for you. And right now, you're no longer overwhelmed. You're no longer struggling because right now, you know exactly what it is that you should be doing. And I'm hoping that you're going to get started right away. Now, if you still need any kind of help, reach out to me. I'll be more than willing to help you along the way so that together we can achieve the goals that we have long desired. Thank you very much for spending another time with me on today's video. It is my pleasure, and I look forward to catching you on my next episode. Bye.